Okay, well, a few things. First, if this looks a little different from the last video, well, apparently when I closed off things, that file went corrupt on me, or it's just not there. So Donovan, I went into your actual file and stole yours again. So this is where Donovan left off. I cleaned up a little bit, so this is my file now. All right, we've gotten all of our stuff set up for our printing. We've got our rough floor plan. We have our final floor plan. The main things we have to do now is we have to get our roof set up. Now, a couple of things about your roof. I personally, if your roof is simple, then you don't need a copy. But this roof is a little bit complicated, so I'm just going to go ahead and copy this roof and put one off to the side. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and move anything I really don't need off to the side. I may need that later, so I'm not going to delete it. So this is the roof that I actually need. So I'm going to move this over here. Now, if you look at this right now, we're just in plain old 2D. That's not a big deal. But we're going to be having to rotate and flatten some of these things out. So what I'm going to do here is if you come to the bottom of the screen and you come down to here, see this little icon where it says isolate objects? If you hold this down and you go isolate, isolate is where you pick what you want to keep. Hide is what you're going to hide. So I'm going to isolate and I'm going to select all this, just my whole roof. Now, see everything disappeared? Do not have a heart attack. It's still there. You come back down here and then you can say end object isolation. It all comes back. So it's just do what you think's easier. If you want to hide objects, then you select everything else. If you want to isolate, you just select this. So that stuff's there. It's not actually frozen, so we're good to go. Now, the next thing I want you to do is let's go ahead and throw this into like the southeast isometric. You're going to see now that this house is, or the roof is actually got 2 layers. You see how it's 2 layers now? All there, it's kind of funky and it'll hurt your eyes a little bit. What I'd like you to do is delete the bottom layer. It gets easier as you go. So find a point and take that edge, delete. Now watch. I take the bottom, delete. See how it's up on the top? So I can come in here and take that edge and take the bottom, delete. See how that's working? So if you take and you come through here, you just got to remember which you're taking. It's almost like it's just broken it all up into little teeny pieces. So I'm just going to pick and delete as I go, and I'm going to walk myself around and take what I definitely need out. So I'm wanting to keep that top view. Okay, so yeah, this is going to take a few minutes, and I would definitely take your time. Come through and get this bottom portion so you can see, like, take all the edges out if that'll make you feel better first, whatever you have to do. So I'm deleting all that, and then I'm coming to the bottom for me and just getting rid of that bottom edge. Make sure you're getting all of the same. You don't want to take off from the bottom and then off from the top. See how I'm just taking and I'm just going through. Come around to the back here and see. Now you can see we have one entire piece. Make sense? So we took off the bottom portion of it. So there's our roof. So let's come up here and let's go to the top view. Now, as we're looking at it, you're going to have to use a little common sense. Okay? I would like you then to move. See, for example, this is going to be facing this way. So is this one. See both of those? I'm going to move those over here. See how this one and this one are facing over there. See how this one and this one and this one are facing that way. I'm going to move them over here, and then we have this guy here. Okay. Now you're probably wondering why I'm doing that. Well, I broke the roofs apart. But let me show you what's going on here. If we come here to our southeast again, and if you take a look, all of these things are slanted. We want to make them flat. So it's very, very simple to do. It's going to take a few minutes. And that's why I made the copy of it, so you know how to go back together. So let's look at it from the front view, because remember we were looking at, if here's the top, but let's look at it from the front. Now, you see these guys here? They still look slanted, but these are the actual side pieces. So what we're going to do here is very simple. We can take and do, we don't even need to do a line. Let's do this. Let's rotate and select these two slanted ones. And you have to do them slanting in the same. Pick your base point here. And we've got an announcement probably coming through. All right, so we picked it. Now, we don't know the rotation on this. So what we're going to do is go R for reference. You can look down here. See what it says copy our reference? So we're going to go R for reference. And now we're going to tell it what the angle is. The angle is from this endpoint to this endpoint. Okay? And now it's asking P for points. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my ortho on, and I'm going to just pick straight across. Boom. See how those two are perfectly flat now? I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. Rotate, select these two, pick a base point, R for reference or pick reference. Take the reference from point. I'm going to take ortho off so you can see it. Point. Now it's asking for P for points. So I'm going to do my P for points. And I'm going to pick here. And I'm going to put my ortho back on. And I want it to be flat, so I'm picking out here. Now, see how that is? I'm not going to mess with it. So that's our front. So let's go look at our side. Now on the side, if we've done our work right, see these guys here that are straight and flat? They're still going to be straight and flat. So let's go to the right side and see what it looks like. All right, perfect. See these guys right here? Those are the other views. So let's rotate them. This one is only one. Put it here. The R for reference. Going to measure from here to the tip top. And P for points. Here, straight out. Rotate. I'm going to select all of these guys here. Don't forget him. Base point. R for reference. Here to here. P for points. Here, straight out. Now, looks kind of crazy, right? But if we went from our right to our front, see how it's all flat? So let's look at our top. So now things are actually flattened out. So this is where the other information can help. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to end object isolation. Okay? And let's move these so we can see these next to the other picture. Okay, let's get this. Let's get this. And let's just move this over here so you can see. I don't care which way you do it, but we're looking at this is our roof all flattened out. See this guy right here? This is our back. This line matches up with this line, which is this. So I'm going to go ahead and move this guy into this area. Now watch. I'm going to keep this guy flat, and I'm going to take rotate, picking, let's see, pick this as my base point, and I'm going to go R for reference. Boom, boom. Now I'm going to go P for points. I'm going to go boom, boom. Now these should line up just perfect, I hope. Let me see. I think I might have done something a little backwards. So from here, yep, I went in the wrong direction. Let me undo that really quick. Let me undo. There we go. Let's do this again, guys. Rotate. Let's take this guy. Our base point should have been here. R for reference. This is what it is from here to here. P for points, I want it to be here to here. There we go. That's better. Now I can take and move this. Come on. I can take this from this point to this point. See how it's exactly where it needs to be. So I've got this one and this one. The next thing I need is this little guy here, which is this little guy here. So I'm going to move this one down. And I'm going to go rotate, take him, right click, pick. R for reference, boom to boom. That's what it originally is. P for points. This is where I want it to be. And notice I'm going in the same direction. I'm not going from here to here. Then I'm going to move here to here. Okay? Now, That's this one. This is the next piece, which is this guy over here. So I'm going to move this one. Now you see why, if it's a rectangle or something easy, that's not a problem. So let's do our rotate, and let's take this guy. Base point, R for reference, point to point, P for points. This is the new one here to here. And I can move this one. Now, I'll be honest, there's going to be times some of you guys are going to be working on these that it may come into here where you're going to cross over. So we're going to end up breaking. We may have to have two separate pieces. It's all the way it's going to look. Our next one is going to be this piece here. I really don't know if this one's going to fit or not. I can try it. And if it's not going to fit, then I'll just switch things up. So rotate, base point, R for reference, I got from here to here. P for points, I want it here to here. Let's see what this does. Oops, let go of all my snaps. Okay, look at that. That is super close, but it can be done. Okay, so now we have that one. All right, now we need this little guy here, which is this one out here. So let's move him. And you know what? If you have to put numbers on them, if it's confusing to you, please do so. Do whatever makes most sense to you, because there's really no rhyme or reason on how you have to put these together. Base point, R for reference, point to point, P for my new points. I want it to go from here to here. And I'm glad I caught that because it looked like I might have almost mixed that one up. I'm going to move this from endpoint to endpoint. See how they're all matching? All right, now I've got the last two pieces. Let's move this one. Is the next one that comes over here. And you got some options. I could even take this guy and move him this way if I want. It all depends. It really doesn't matter as long as it works out. I just go for the easiest. R for reference, here to here. P for points, here to here. Now, there, like I said, there's going to be a couple of y'all that are going to be working on this that you're going to have to do two sections because something's going to cover up on it. Okay, let's do this rotate. Here, R for reference, here to here. P for points, I want it to go here to here. And then I will move this one here. Check that out. There's your roof. If you actually printed this out and cut it out of a piece of paper, which you are going to do as a practice sheet, it'll all fold together as one piece. So what are you going to do next? Hit your save first because we just don't want to mess things up. We are going to move this into our paper. And I'm going to try to squeeze it in here like so. Now, y'all need to look at it carefully and see how this one here, this is where my area is. I should be good on there, but if I have to, I can take and move. Make sure you get every bit of it. This is kind of the scary part because some people won't get everything. And I can bring this up as long as I am completely in this page. So there is that area for me there. So now what do I have? I've got my doors and my windows. They're set to go. I've got all of my elevations set to go. I have my rough floor plan. I have my final floor plan, and I have my roof. I also have my name on it. The last thing I really want you to do is take it, and I want you to make sure it says by layer, by layer, by layer. That way everything is fitting perfect. Remember, our zero layer is not going to print. So just for giggles, if we put ourselves in another area, if you freeze this off, make sure that you don't have the things in that zero layer. And you didn't have to move the other things out of layers. The windows and doors were big to make sure they're in the proper layer here. Do some looking at it. I'm going to put the thickness on, and let's see what's going on here. And let me check, because with this one here, doors and windows, whoops. Okay, check out here, doors and windows. Donovan, you forgot to change. think this was the 0.3. Because when I'm taking your stuff, oops, cancel. That's not the one I wanted, guys. I wanted these things to have the thickness so you can actually see it. Same with these. These guys here, we want to make sure we've got a thickness on these. So make sure you have your line type set up the same way, and the thickness the same way as I asked you or I told you in the other previous. Okay? So take a look at it. I'm not going to take a lot of time to go back and fix people's work, but I need your name on this. And here's something too that you may want to do is, see, you got your name up on this corner, which is awesome. Once you take this and you start cutting it, you may want to stick your name on your roof just in case. You may want to take your name and stick it outside of your floor plan so we can see it. That way, you know, you've got, when you print it, you'll know who's doing what and where. So I don't care if you put your name on all these little pieces here too. That way, if you lose a piece, someone will be able to find it. Just don't take your name and put it in the final floor plan. Put it to the outside. All right? At this point, if you are completely done, finished, finalized, no other problems, then I need you to make sure you save it off. And seriously, look at your line weights. Make sure everything is by layer, by layer, by layer. And I am going to I think what I'll do is I will open it up on Edline. Submit this to Edline. I'll open one up, and it'll be under ready to print. Once you submit it, please let me know, and that way I will start downloading this and taking this and printing it on the printer. I will print you out one large sheet, and once you are ready to go, I will take it from there. I also will be taking these little guys here separate, and I will be giving you the information on your doors, on what colors you can have, and these will get printed out on the plastic little overhead sheets. So I think you're done. If there's anything more, you know I'll always add another video for you, okay? So let's keep our fingers crossed, and I think we should be good, guys. All right? Bye.